Hey guys, it's Stephanie and welcome to Pantry Living's Kitchen. Today we're going to be discussing bean sprouts. Yep, many of you have asked us about this and you've seen it in numerous videos where we sprout our own bean sprouts to use in things like chow mein and stir fries and all sorts of meals. It's an excellent source of greens in the middle of winter. And I just happen to be starting a new jar, so I'm going to take you along for the process and show you how we do it. Now, I will say we do grow our own bean sprouts, but we don't grow enough yet for the whole season. This is only our second year now of growing them. So we do buy them. You can get them at Food Basics. Most grocery stores that sell bulk dry beans will have mung beans. That's what we use to grow our bean sprouts. Now, this particular bag here, you're around a kg or 2 pounds. That's running at about $2.99. Sometimes you can get a bigger bag, which is double that size, for $5.99 or $4.99. Sometimes you can even get a great sale, but it doesn't happen as often anymore. Now, one of those bags will last many, many jars of bean sprouts because all you need is 2 tablespoons in this jar and it will pretty much fill her up with those bean sprouts for using for your meal. So it's a process. It takes a couple days. So we're going to go through it step by step. And at the end of the video, we're going to make some chow mein out of it. So the basic tools you're going to need for this, 1 liter or 1 quart wide mouth jar. I use a wide mouth jar because that is the size of my sprouting lid. Now, I believe you could probably get these in a narrow or regular mouth jar lid, but I only have wide mouth. These were purchased from Lee Valley. You can also get them at Walmart, I believe now, or Home Hardwares, but these are great. They come in a pack of 2 for about $12. I think now we're probably up to having about 20 of them in the house between sprouting stuff for chickens, sprouting stuff for us, sprouting stuff for rabbits, but they are very handy and they last a really, really long time. Now, the important part about this is make sure everything is clean. We just emptied this last night. I soap and water cleaned it all out, ready to go. Same with the lid because we don't want to have any mold growth in this. Otherwise, it's a waste of time and effort. There we have the leftover mung beans from our own growing last year. That's why we're not going to be using these because that's what we're thinking we're probably going to plant this year. So we don't want to use them all up. So I'm going to just open my pack. 2 tablespoons. And then we're going to fill it up with water. Now, one thing you want to do is rinse them. So you don't have to fill it the first time, but just get them wet. Drain that off. It just gets anything out of there that you don't want. And then fill her up. And you're going to soak this until tomorrow morning. So my last thing to say on this first day of sprouting these mung beans is it looks like nothing right now in the jar. And you look at that and go, there's no way that's going to fill her up. But trust me, 2 tablespoons. You can heap them a little bit, but it will fill the jar. All right, guys, day 2 of making our own bean sprouts. It is time to drain and rinse these guys. All right, so once you've got them rinsed, you can start to see they've kind of poofed up and absorbed some of that moisture. We're not sprouting yet, but definitely I think we will see some tails probably by tomorrow in there. So from this point, you're going to just kind of twirl it a little bit, get those beans so that they kind of stick to the side in some places, and you're going to just leave it on its side until tomorrow when we rinse and repeat. Day 3 of sprouting bean sprouts, and you can see there we've got some tails. We just rinsed and drained these. And once again, we're just going to roll it and let them kind of stick to the side and let it sit for another day. All right, so it didn't work for me to show you those tails in the jar, so I've taken these out. So I'm going to have to rinse them again just to make sure that no bacteria gets in there. But you can see on day 3, those tails are all starting to form. Lovely. Now, the other thing I will say is when they're in this state, you can eat them. They taste like little peas. They're sprouted. So perfectly fine to use at this point, but as you can see, it hasn't built up a lot of bulk in the jar yet. So we're going to keep going. We find it usually takes around 6 days to really get the money's worth out of it. But because we're on day 3, we start another jar so that we have a consecutive every 3 days. We've got a jar ready to go. Well, guys, We are now on to day 7 of sprouting our bean sprouts. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of detail on day 5 and 6. It's basically the same as day 4 and the day before that. You're going to rinse, twirl it in the jar. But remember what I said about it filling the jar? Look at that. I'll take the lid off. Hopefully none fall out. There we go. It is full to the brim. That is what 2 tablespoons of mung beans does. And you could probably let this go a little longer, or you could probably eat it a little bit earlier. The one thing that we do find is it really depends on the temperature in the house. If it's warmer, these suckers go a lot quicker. Sometimes it takes 8 days. It just depends. So now it is time to convert these into some yummy chow mein. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to give you the recipe. Really, chow mein just is a whole bunch of stuff in a pot and some good sauce, right? So the sauce recipe is the important part, but I'll go through everything we're going to put in, and we'll talk a little bit more about one other thing at the end. Before we get to the end, I was going to talk about what I did today with the bean sprouts. So the last day before we use them for dinner or lunch or whatever we're going to do, I take a plate and I tip them over like that on top. And the reason for that is because all that moisture drains out of there, which is perfect. So I ended up, I dumped it so I didn't make a mess on the video, but there was quite a bit of liquid on the plate. But now it is ready to go. And I just, forgot to mention that part before we plunge ahead with cooking. So that is the process to making bean sprouts. As you can see, very worth the investment. So one of the main ingredients in chow mein is noodles. And as you know, we do not tend to focus on eating a lot of noodles or rice type product here. Saying that, I'm going to contradict myself in a moment here. But what we're going to be using is cabbage. That is something that is quite a staple in our diet now. Cabbage, things like that, substitute it out, make it bulk, right? That's the thing. You need to bulk it out a little bit. And that's what usually the noodles does. So 2 cups of cabbage. 1 carrot. I'm actually going to use 2 carrots because it's 4 of us eating tonight. And I'm going to show you something. It's crazy what my onions are doing. Hang on. So apparently I am growing green onions. That's my new trick. I love this though because I just cut the tops off and they're great in salads and things like that. So I've been using them in egg salad sandwich because we are overran with eggs. I think I last counted and we had like 700 eggs. So we're definitely eating a lot of egg salad, things like that. Omelets, great with the green onions. But what we need is the bulbs here. So I'm going to see what I can salvage off these. They're definitely getting soft and we're going to get those in. I want 1 medium onion. I've got 3 out here. We'll see what we get. So let's get a little bit of sesame oil into the pan. You can use olive oil, whatever works for you. And let's get some stuff frying up. All right, so here we go with that little bit of sesame oil in there. Our pan's pretty good and hot. It's probably about maybe 1.5 tablespoons. I'm going to start with those onions. As you can see, I ended up with quite a few. Definitely a full onion there. Also, you can see on my tray here, I decided to add a little bit of broccoli because we are big broccoli fans. Let that get a bit of a start. I am sure every cook has the same thing as me. You have an order, you like to cook things because you like things cooked to a certain percentage, right? I like my onions and cabbage well fried, and that's why right now the cabbage is going in. So while the onion and cabbage sizzles away here and gets a little bit browned, I'm going to talk about what we're having with our chow mein. Because as if we don't eat weird enough already, we also sprout lentils. These are red lentils sprouted basically the same way as we do our mung beans with the cap. Only 3 days and you get those little tails. That's all we want. We're not growing it into a big plant, but this is an awesome rice substitute or rice addition. And that's what we're doing today, or tonight, I guess. We're having egg fried rice, but we're going to half our rice portion and sub in these lentils instead. So since we have chicken broth out for our chow mein sauce, I'm going to use my microwave rice cooker, and I'm going to cook off our bit of brown rice right here, our bit of brown rice in a little bit of chicken broth as well, just to add a little bit extra protein. It's always good. If you've got it, you might as well use it, right? That's one thing I used to be terrible with. I would make so much stuff and it would just sit on the shelves. So hopefully soon we'll go through the shelves because some of them are starting to look a little bare. All right, so now that we are nicely starting to brown off, you can see that there, I'm going to add the garlic. Now, We are huge fans of garlic. I am doing 5 cloves. If you're not a huge fan of garlic, I probably would only recommend 3. That's just my suggestion, but you do you. That's the beauty of chow mein, in my opinion, is you can kind of make it up as you go. But we're going to get the garlic in here, and then I'm going to dump in my carrots and broccoli and my chicken and kind of put the lid on, let that simmer for a little while we make the sauce. The bean sprouts kind of go in last, just letting you know. Look at that. It looks so pretty and healthy. We just got to get the chicken in here and then we'll get the lid on. But I just wanted to show you how gorgeous this looks. So last minute decision, as I like to roll, and I decided to add some of our homegrown lima beans in there. We still have quite a few in the freezer from last year's harvest, and we want to get that freezer cleaned out. We're still an ongoing process. I'll let you in on a little secret. I have one of the big freezers halfway empty. I don't think it's ever been halfway empty. It almost makes me concerned because now I'm like, oh boy, are we going to have enough food? But I know we will. We got the 4th one emptied and one of the big ones half emptied. We still have a small freezer, another big freezer. We have lots of food, but I don't think I've ever had so much eaten out of the freezer. But that was the goal this year, right? Less out of jars, less out of the store, more out of the freezer. And we are definitely achieving that, which I'm super pleased with. But anyways, let's get back to this. So I've got my cheat notes here from my little cookbook thing. Sauce, 5 tablespoons of oyster sauce. Now, one thing I will say is, and I know I've said this numerous times, but not all sauce is created equal. Oyster sauce is a real tough one to find without MSG and things like that. If you happen to be somewhere where you get Blue Dragon, we get this at Superstore. You can also get it at Metro. There's a couple other places in Canada, but this one, great ingredients, no MSG, love it. So if you happen to be somewhere where you can find that, it's a little bit more pricey, but it is a better product. I'm going to just leave it there. 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of sesame oil, 1 cup of chicken broth. Now, I recommend do a half cup and then just see when you pour it in, because without those noodles, sometimes you don't need all that extra sauce, right? So definitely kind of start with a half cup of chicken broth, but have a little bit more as a reserve, or you can always add water if you don't have extra chicken broth. 1 tablespoon cornstarch and 1 tablespoon of sugar, but I do not use that. I am going to be using our green stevia powder, probably just a 1/4 teaspoon. Don't need very much of that because it is powerful stuff. But then it's just pour it on top and away we go, and we move on to that lentil egg fried rice. That's what we're going to call it. You can see it is packed in there, these bean sprouts. And that is wild. I'm going to try and lift it all up here. All of this came from those 2 tablespoons of mung beans to start with. So we're just going to let those sit on top, and then we're going to move on to our egg fried rice. All right, so now we're just going to set this on our lesser burner, and we're going to get out the big frying pan, and we're going to work on this egg fried rice. Now, egg fried rice really is just rice, whatever you're putting in it, soy sauce, and egg all fried up, right? So there's not too much to it, but I'm excited to try it with the lentils and see how this goes. This is the first time for us. We've mostly just kind of done the chow mein and thrown the lentils in it. So yeah. So one thing I do have to say is I like my egg fried rice done in butter, not oil. There is something about butter. Everything is better with butter, right? So we're going to get a bit of butter. That makes me think of that tongue twister, you know, the Betty bought a bit of butter thing. We're going to get some butter in the pan, and then I've got some onions cut up, a little bit smaller this time, not as big as what I had in the chow mein. And we're going to fry them up, and then we're going to add some peas and peppers out of the freezer. And basically that's it. Get our eggs in there, fry them up, and away we go. So you can see I'm stirring in those bean sprouts, and I am actually going to add a little bit more of this chicken broth here. Probably not that full half cup, but a good little bit there. Oh, it smells so good. I know I always say that, but I really wish you guys could smell it. It smells amazing. The only thing that would have made this better is mushrooms in there, but the kids don't like mushrooms. All right, so our onions, peppers, and peas are all kind of frying off here. And I've been actually nibbling these. They're really good, but they do have quite a strong taste to them. So I've made an executive decision. I'm only going to put half of these in, and we'll save half for another meal. So I'm going to put them in now so they get a chance to fry off a little bit as well in that butter. And then I've got 6 silky eggs set aside, so basically 4 regular sized eggs. And we're going to just get them broke in the middle of this pan and kind of work them around. And then in goes our rice, in goes the soy sauce, and then we enjoy a wonderful meal. I'm super stoked. So let's put half of these in and then see how we do. Now, one thing that I do always do with our homegrown and stored eggs is I always break them in a separate dish before, because I don't want to ruin the whole meal. These particular eggs were collected on January 27th, so they're definitely getting older, but it is amazing how long eggs will store. Anyways, let's break these up. Hopefully we don't get any surprises, because sometimes, you know, a surprise egg is not a nice egg. So we're going to do that and get it into the pan. I'm going to push everything to the outside and then put my eggs in the center. Now it's going to pick up some of those veggies from around the outside as well. That is perfectly fine. We actually like it that way, but we'll get most of this cooked off before we really mix it in. So there we go. I'm going to mix that all in now. And then we shall add our rice. All right, our rice is ready. I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of put it in the middle. Get a little sizzle. We'll get some soy sauce on there. All right, so there it is. We've got a little bit of a sizzle on. Now I'm just going to put some soy sauce on top of that rice. And then we're going to mix it around. I have no idea how much that was. Probably about 1/4 cup. And then we just stir it in. Now it's just about time to dish it up. All right. All right. So you can see here, there's our chow mein looking delicious. Perfect amount of moisture in my opinion. And this gorgeous egg fried rice. We just are blitzing this out one more time. I've got it up on a bit of a higher heat to try and crisp up that rice, because everybody knows that's the best part. So we've got our bowls off to the side. This is one thing that I've really changed about how I eat now. Portion control. Bowls. I use a bowl for everything. We used to go with the big dinner plate and I'd heap it so much with rice and everything else. Now I eat one bowl of food and it always just seems to work perfect. It's proper size and it really does well for me. So we're going to put a layer of the egg fried rice on the bottom, some chow mein on top, and we're going to give this a taste test. I've made this recipe so many times, I already know it's going to be amazing, but I'm still going to taste test it for you guys. This is going to be hot. It's so good. I just know it. Oh yeah, so yummy. Yep. I think everybody else is going to like it a lot too. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you try the recipe and definitely give those bean sprouts a try. It's actually a lot easier than you think to grow them and it's so worth it. So I'm going to go enjoy dinner.